Hey guys, welcome back to Cozy Womb Podcast. My name is Shan, mama of the girls. This is Cozy Womb Podcast where I talk about parenting. This whole season of season 16, I'm just talking to dads and people who know a dad that wants to get back into his child's life. So with that being said, this is episode 9 and you see the title, How Long Have You Been Away? It's Monday, so let me start you off slow. Why have you been away is a question. Was the reason honestly out of your hands? That's another question. And how do you plan on making up for that loss with your child or your children or yourself? Kids need balance and they need you as a dad, and that's what I want to talk about today. Get comfortable, and if you know a dad that can use this episode, go ahead and share it to him. Tweet it, share it on your IG, share it on your TikTok. I appreciate you. This is Cozy Womb. As a mom, being away from my kids for like 2 months because they're at their grandma's is different. I still call, I still see them on FaceTime. And even this past week, it was my birthday Saturday and my mom kept them for a week away. So I had like a whole week without my kids. For me as a mom, those are the longest times I've been away from my kids. So when it comes to dads who've been away from their kids for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 4 years, 10 years, 15 years, and then they're trying to come back into their kids' lives, I will never know what that's like. And I don't want to know what that's like. But I do have to have some compassion for fathers who might be in a situation where they didn't have the rights in order to have a say on spending the time, or they didn't have a lawyer to go about visitation in the right way, or they weren't mentally or physically or financially in a position to provide a proper place in their lives for their children, so they thought it was a good idea to stay away. I'm honestly going to tell you, as a father, you do yourself no favors by staying away. Mentally, emotionally, and long term, when you become an older man and you wish you had family or you wish you had somebody that truly cared about you, when you truly provide and you truly show love and effort over the years and decades with your children, when they get older, they will take care of you. They will take care of you. They will make sure you're in a better position. And so it's very important for parents, even moms and dads, to really, really, really do their best for their children while they're children, because children do not forget. Children do not forget. And a lot of dads don't understand that it's so important and what their position is in their child's life and how that displays in their personality and their character, how they treat other people. For me, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I didn't know my dad. I knew my dad a little bit, but I didn't get to know everything about him like I would like to. So I grew up in a home with my dad and my parents were married up until I was 8. And then I moved to Maryland, and I was primarily raised by my mom as a single mom.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the "did we just hit a million orders" stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
And my mom refused to seek out like any help from him. So she struggled. We lived in family shelters. We were on Section 8 for years. At one point when she had her first stroke, me and my youngest brother were in foster care. And it was like my dad did not exist. And my mom also struggled with not asking for help. And I just feel like if my mom took the stance, like I take the stance as a mother with my kids, and I make sure I do everything I can to make sure that their fathers can help and provide. And then if they don't, then they don't. But I feel like my mom, through her stubbornness and her wanting somebody to search out and force her to take their help, she didn't ask for help from him. And my dad got to skate. My dad owned businesses, properties, and handled money very well. But he also benefited on the fact that he knew he had a child. For a short time, he didn't know where I was at. But even when he did find out where I was at, he didn't offer to help financially. He didn't say, I want to seek out visitation so I can have time with her because I haven't seen her in a long time. It was more so, if I went to go visit my family in Philly, one night he will randomly pop up and I will see him for a couple of minutes and then he would dip out. And he had an attitude kind of like full of pride, like, oh, this is my number. You can call me. You know where I'm at. Let me tell you something. As a parent, don't you ever fix yourself to have an attitude like your child needs to come seek you out. Your child needs to give you more effort to come spend time with you, as if your child created you. You created your child. And yes, as an adult child and you are a parent, the phone works two ways. You can come see me, I'll come see you. You can spend time with me, I'll come spend time with you. But as a child, you don't do that. You don't do that. Don't rely on FaceTimes every 4 to 6 months or twice a year. Don't rely on I saw pictures on Instagram, so you straight. Don't rely on, I sent your mom $100 Cash App that 1 month. She didn't give it to you. The reality is, in 2022, $100 doesn't do anything. The reality is $200 doesn't do anything. The reality is getting a parent that's always with your children, that you don't see consistently, that you don't actively parent, that you don't call out of work to take to doctor appointments or when they get sick, that you don't go the extra mile for all year, for years, even for decades. It's not about money. It's about the audacity for you to be living, breathing, able, and knowingly know you have a child somewhere that you're not taking care of mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and you're not pouring into them. But let that child grow up and be a great inventor or a doctor or a basketball player or something in entertainment where they're making money for themselves, where they're doing good for themselves, or they own a business, or they become a CEO. Dads love to randomly pop up and be like, oh, hey, son. Oh, hey, daughter. Let alone you get older and you get sick and you need a kidney. And you need to find a family member with your blood type to help you when you never helped. It's audacity. And the thing about life is we don't know how much time we have. And so for you to diligently wake up every day, make sure you eat, make sure you okay, make sure you're clean, make sure you have the nicest shoes, make sure your car is clean, make sure you could go places and entertain yourself, make sure you're happy, make sure that emotionally you feel good about yourself, and not think, hey, did my child eat today? Hey, does my child have clothes? Hey, how's my child doing in school? I don't even know my child's favorite color. I don't even know my child's blood type. Is my child going to the dentist? Is my child going to the doctors? I wonder if their mom needs help. When does their mom have time to herself? Should I call? I don't want to call today. I don't want to call this week. I don't want to call this month. I don't want to call this year. But then when holidays come around, they quick to post up whatever picture they can snatch off of social media of their kid that they don't spend time with. It's audacity. And a lot of men wonder, I don't like talking to their mom because she always got an attitude. Or I don't like talking to their mom because she always mad about something. Or she always nagging me about something. When you go so long not doing and expect someone to be super happy that you're doing this one thing or these couple of things, these couple of times, and you want them to be excited and you want them to be super grateful. And sometimes it's on the flip side too, where there's a lot of mothers that don't do and that father does for that child. It's audacity for you to come in thinking that parent owes you something, or that parent owes you a smile, or that parent's being ungrateful. That parent is tired of not being appreciated, tired of not being acknowledged for their efforts and everything they do, tired of picking up your slack and also doing their part, tired of answering the questions that your child had for those 2 years about you, for those 3 years about you, for those 5 years about you, for those 10 years about you, for those 15 years about you, and you knew where they were, and you knew how to communicate, and you knew how to keep in contact, and you knew that you had the ability to show up. Because let it be, oh, I want to go somewhere on spring break. You on a flight? You eating well? You drinking well? You got a nice clothes from head to toe? Your car good? Your apartment good? Your house good? Money's great. Job's great. I don't have to call out of work because ain't no kid here that's sick, but their mom might, but that's not my business. How do you disattach from that? And sometimes there are dads where it's not their fault that they're not around. Some mothers do not want dads around. I don't understand that, because I'm always willing, as long as a father is living correctly. And when I say that, not doing anything illegal, not going to have my child in any harm, has a legit license, drives correctly, I can trust them to get my child from A to B and be safe. You know what I'm saying? If I can have the mindset and the comfort of, oh, my child is with their dad, they're okay. Just like dads can have the comfort, oh, my child is with their mom, she does right by my child, they're okay. I'm always willing for my children to be with their dads. I'm not ever hogging or taking away from the fact that my daughters can be with their fathers. But I cannot take care of a child all the time. You know what I'm saying? 110%. And that one day you show up, let me take her here. Let me go here. No. I need to see you more as an active parent before I just release my child to someone I don't know that will do right by my child because I haven't seen you do that. And a lot of dads don't understand that. That's the mindset for a lot of moms who do want you in their child's life is we need to see active times where you are living up to what a father should be to that child. Because anything that happens to a child that hasn't been around you or haven't spent the time with you, and a mom gave that child to you, moms automatically feel guilty. And they shouldn't. Making time for your kids will help how your children develop, how they trust people, how they have faith in themselves, how they have confidence. My daddy tip this week for this episode is to do the best with the time that you have. Make the effort. I know sometimes trying to co-parent might be frustrating. Call. If it's the 5th time you call. Text. Write. Buy extra supplies. And just sit it to the side when you have extra money. Check in with sizes often. Know your child's teacher. Know when they're going to start school back. Be prepared. Set up accounts that will benefit them later. Make decisions in your life now that will provide spaces for your child to come in and not close them out. Like if you're not in your child's life and you want to be, and you know where they are, and you need to make the steps towards doing that, this is not the time for you to think about moving to another country. You have to be in a position to include your child actively, right? Like I like how Switzerland looks. I like how other countries look, but I can't as a mother be like, you know what? Next year I'm packing up everything and I'm taking my suitcase and I'm moving to another country, but stay with the mindset of I want their father to be in their lives. I kind of made it impossible for them to have the best relationship with their dads if I go to a different country. Like, that's inconsiderate. And when you think about it like that, just do the best with what you have and show up and make the effort and make the space. Okay? Don't let your child think that you don't care and you're not interested and they don't matter. That's the last thing you want to do, boy or girl. Now back to the episode.
Here we go.
Back to the show.
Back to the show.
Parental separation doesn't help anyone. Inconsistent dads doesn't help anyone. The way that your child thinks long term, when they're teenagers, when they're adults, when they're married, when they have their own kids, has to do a lot with what relationship they had or they did not have with their fathers and their mothers. But right now we're talking about dads. So that's why you need to check yourself on how long have you been away? Why have you been away? And what steps can you take to rebuild the time that you've lost and your child has lost? You're not the only one losing. And that other parent that has been doing the utmost to try to balance that child out as much as she can is also losing. Losing out on pouring into who they are, separated from being a mom. Because I will tell you, as a mother who primarily most of the time has one child more than the other, because the other I actively co-parent and we don't let anything get in the way of how we co-parent for her. So she doesn't feel lopsided. But I know my oldest child feels lopsided. And I'm not one of those women that's like, oh, I'm her dad and her mom. No. I'm her mom. I am not her father. She knows who her father is, but she also knows that her father does not call. She also knows that her father does not show up. She also knows that her father does not even answer her FaceTimes. She also knows that her father doesn't make time or make space for her the way that her sister's dad does. And that hurts my feelings, and I know it hurts her feelings. But at the same time, I have to honestly have a discussion with her about, I don't have any power in that to change that. Your father knows where we are. He knows how to reach you. I'm not keeping you away from him. It's just sometimes a lot of fathers are not mentally and emotionally balanced enough to be fathers. And sometimes fatherhood scares a lot of fathers, especially if they didn't have a father that did right by them. And you can only fight that fight for so long. And I know eventually, as her father gets older, he's going to want to fix what he failed at with her. And I'm just hoping that my child's sensitive heart and openness will welcome him when he's ready. Because it's not a question of, is she ready? It's more so, when is he ready? When is he ready to be a father? How come my dad doesn't do this? How come you always have to do this? How come, you don't have more money for me to do this, but Arya's dad can? How come I can't go here with my dad? And I can go here and see your friends and be around your friends' kids and spend the night here, but I don't know anybody on my dad's side. I don't know, his family. He doesn't come and pick me up. How come my dad doesn't come in town and have a car and we go places and I don't have to come like some chaperone? I can't answer that. So when it comes to dad showing up, how well you communicate will determine your chemistry with your child. My oldest daughter and her dad, they don't have any chemistry because he hasn't poured in the time and effort with her. So it's kind of like when I see them together, when they are together in the past, it looks like two strangers sitting next to each other. They look similar. They might laugh every once in a while, but it's not like if I'm sitting on the couch and Anya comes lay on my shoulder or lay in my lap or put her feet on me. It's not that. And that says a lot. And I don't want my oldest daughter to grow up and have this grudge against other girls because their fathers were around and they were more balanced growing up. And I don't want her to have a grudge against males because her dad wasn't around. And I don't want her to lean on every male that comes her way because she's trying to fill some void of her daddy not being around. So that's what I deal with every day. That's what I deal with every week. And so I'm saying this because it's very important for dads to show up. You can't say that you love your child unconditionally, but only call and show up and spend time when it's only good for you. If you only see your kids when you can make them happy temporarily, it won't work. You got to ride the wave of emotion with your kid. Just like you have to ride the wave of emotion with your best friend. You have to ride the wave of emotion with the person you're romantically involved with. It can't be all good times. Sometimes you're going to have to discipline. Sometimes you're going to have to set boundaries. Sometimes your child is going to have to be in a space to be mad at you, to be happy with you, to cry with you, to be depressed with you, to be defiant with you. And you're going to have to stand your ground on who you are in their life as their dad. Quality time with your son and daughter matters. If you miss time, then you miss time. No one has the power to go back in time and fill up the time that they miss and fill in the gaps. What you can do is do better with this time now and going forward. An active dad is an accessible, understanding, and available father. Let me say that one more time. An active dad is an accessible, understanding, and available father. It means if your child wants to go to your house, they can. If your child wants to call you, you pick up. If your child wants to see you, they can see you. If your child wants to ask you a question, they can ask you a question. If your child wants to cry with you, they can cry with you. And you can give them instant feedback. If your child wants to sit and be bored in the same space as you, they have access to do so. If your child is having a game, they know that you're coming. It's not a question. If your child is having an award show, they know that you're coming. It's not a question. When your child gets the report card, they tell mom and dad. When your child has a problem or emergency, if they can't get their mom, they could call their dad. That's an active parent. An active parent isn't just, I paid my child support. I did what I needed to do. That's not it. If all I had to do as a mother is pay $200 for the month, like a car note, what? You mean all I gotta do is pay for this child $200 a month out of my pay that I get every month? And not show up and not call and not see them and not buy them clothes and not, help them when they're sick and not take them to appointments. I don't need to go to the doctor. I don't need to know what they need. I don't need to get them a passport. I don't need to spend time with them. I don't need to take them on vacation. And then I could just live my life and say I'm a great mom. Do you know how stupid that sounds? That's not being a parent. Compassion goes a long way. Empowering your child goes a long way. So if you've been inconsistent, fix it. Work together with your child to get to know who your child is. And this is very important. Regardless of what has happened or what did not happen, respecting the mother of your child who's been taking care of your children, no matter what, matters. Because this is what humbles me all the time. No matter how much I wish I had more help, no matter how much maybe their dads might drop the ball on some things, what keeps me respectable about the thing is knowing my child is only half of me. My child is only half of me, so I can't be in a position to hate half of her. I have to show some love and respect to who my children's fathers are because 1, that's who I chose. 2, they didn't ask to be here. And 3, half of them is at least part of their dads. So that's most of the time the basis of where I am with if what I'm thinking right now is not going to help, I'm not going to say it. If what I'm thinking right now is disrespectful, I'm not going to say it. If I'm thinking right now would have my children look at me differently about their fathers, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to put my hands on their dads because I don't want them to see that that's okay. That's another thing too. Mothers, I understand the frustration, but you have to check yourself. Fathers, I understand that maybe you're having a problem with accountability. Maybe you don't like hearing what other people think about you or how you've been not pulling your weight all these years, but it has to be said. It has to be fixed. And the benefit of you being in a better position to be a great dad is your child will always benefit. Your child will always benefit when you have your own place. Your child will always benefit if you have a better job. Your child will always benefit if you're in a position to be more able for your children. Your child will always benefit if you have more opportunities to spend with them. Your child will always benefit if your health is great. Your child will always benefit if they have access to see their other siblings through you.
Transform the look of your home with big savings at Menards. Window Images faux wood room darkening blinds add a classic design and privacy. They're available in a variety of trendy colors, like oak, gray, or mahogany, to match any decor. Plus, get them trimmed to width for free. Save big money on window treatments at Menards. And don't forget to check out our flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
So what is so bad about a mother wanting their children's father to be in a better position? And this is why I don't get in the way of their fathers being in a better position. I'm never going to be mad at that. Their fathers being in a better position makes them be able to have more opportunities. Only if that father is not being selfish and inconsiderate about his time and his efforts. But there are some selfish-minded fathers out here who don't balance out their time and their effort with their children. And that's what I'm saying. It's a balance beam. There's some great fathers out here that just need some resources and tools to connect the dots. And there's some fathers out here that only want to claim being a father around Christmas and a birthday. Sometimes they don't claim it at all. I don't understand that mindset, and I'm not trying to understand that mindset. All I'm saying is, if you miss 2 years, 5 years, or 15 years, stop trying to fix time. Just make time now if that child is open and willing, and be honest about the time that you miss, and be available and make space. That's all I'm saying. So how long you've been away? Okay, that's spilt milk. We can't do nothing about that. We can't get that off the floor and squeeze it back into the bottle and drink it and it be healthy. We can't do that. But what we can do is move better going forward. What you can do as a father is take the initiative. What you can do as a father is seek out how you can get visitation in the state that your child is in. What you can do is start building and repairing that relationship that you have with your child's grandparents, if that's who they're living with, or their mother. But you have to start somewhere. You can't have every year you have an excuse. You can't have every month there's another month that you missed, or you didn't call, or you didn't know anything about your kid. That's not right. This is Cozy Womb Podcast, and I thank you for listening, and I thank you for being understanding just to see a different point of view of what I'm talking about, because fathers matter and they need to be involved and they need to be there.